chosen ones. The gun is good.
Garbage Pail Kids, the movie soon.
Like, we started off, me and him watched Spy Kids 3. Then we watched Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Basically, the first 3 we watched were Robert Rodriguez films. Because it's like, he does great regular films. Kids films, for some reason, he does not do well.
I mean,
Shark Boy and Lava Girl is a national treasure. Alright?
Yeah, but then later on, kids like us, like, I used to love Spy Kids as a kid, but then, like, the third one came out, and then, like, I look at it later on, I'm like, no, it honestly isn't that great.
I saw that movie a lot as a kid.
Well, we're on the topic.
Spy Watched Spy Kids
Welcome
3
to
a lot when I was a kid.
Episode 13.
Are we recording?
Zardoz.
Starting off with
Starting fanclub podcast.
once again with the cough.
Don't tell me what to do.
Stop coughing.
It's just sickening.
Hey, at least we can't touch the table now, Nick Turco.
Have we went ahead and did we
I'm
check?
gonna touch the table anyway.
Did we check the audio?
Audio is looking.
Did you watch the one?
spiffy.
I mean, did you listen to the one episode where I was on?
I did.
And
I
then,
did.
like, I tapped the table. He goes, Turco would be so upset.
I remember that, and I was upset when I heard it too. And I was like, somebody's touching the table.
Somebody's doing it.
Oh, somebody's touching the table.
Of course, it's the newbie that would be on it.
How awesome would it
Listen,
would it have been if
Dixon
I came
did
in?
it. Not Dixon.
Pizza.
Eric Diger did it so much worse. Like, first day on the podcast, he keeps tapping the table, and then before we call, we're gonna say something to him about it. Like, the table nearly just flips over and takes everything with it.
That was terrible.
I don't remember that.
Terrible day.
I don't know if you were there for that, but I just because I remember. I don't think you were, because I think we also said Turco would have just flipped shit if he saw that.
Oh, I would have flipped shit. I would have flipped all the shit. I would be flipping so much shit that I'd be flipping myself. You know.
That's great.
Oh
So
my gosh.
introductions this time.
So it's been a while since we've been here last.
Yeah, new location. We're shooting out of the. We're shooting out.
We're in an undisclosed location in the Northern Alps. We're joined today by the legend, Frankie Koelle.
I'm back again.
Yeah, he was on the last episode that we recorded. So
Wait, last episode? I thought there was an episode before that though that we did.
we don't talk about that one.
Oh, did that one not make it up?
No.
No. I lost track.
This is unofficially the 13th episode.
Oh, sweet.
Wouldn't that make the last one unofficial though, and this one the official one?
No.
Wait, I'm so confused. Why didn't it make it up, Dixon?
Because I never posted it.
You bastard.
I'm grab another slice. We're eating pizza.
Go ahead.
Yeah, can you grab me one too?
Sure, champ.
There usually be a lot more talking, but we're all kind of eating pizza.
Yeah.
I mean,
This is actually pretty
I
decent.
thought we were gonna
pizza.
do the full introduction right now, where I'm Dan Leahey, and
He likes long walks on the beach. He
I
always
do.
swipes left.
then we've got
He's
to my
only
right is Turco.
But today we're gonna hear the story about how Dan Leahey swiped right.
Yeah, Dan Leahey he only does it for fun. He doesn't swipe right. He's only here for entertainment.
Well, I'm actually gonna pull my phone out real quick because I was saying this while you were upstairs. I said this to Turco. Me and Frankie have a friend named Andrew, and he's kind of inspired me to where he's started using Tinder, but he doesn't really give a shit about Tinder. What he does, he's basically just a gigantic troll to women on Tinder.
Oh, yeah.
But he's not like doing anything like really dickish. He's just saying the most random shit to women, and for some reason they're responding, but they don't continue up the conversation. They're just going ahead and they just respond once, but it's some of the funniest shit. It's just so random. He's a really random guy. So he's my inspiration right now. So I started doing the same thing to live up to his expectations. And one of the girls I matched with, I thought was really funny. I matched with her yesterday, and I'll read you the exact conversation where it's. I said to her, I'm like, because I saw in her description it says that she's looking for a cat daddy. So I'm like, what if I was to tell you I'm more of a dog lover? And she goes, Well, I like dogs too. And then I immediately put a gif of like a wrestler from WWE just adjusting a bow tie, and I just go, well then. And then she sends me a gif of a bear waving hello, and then I put the gif of what was it? Jordan Peele from Key and Peele just doing like obnoxious amount of sweating, and I took.
Oh,
this,
I know that one. Yeah, yeah.
And because we watched a video beforehand, which was also my inspiration on. What was it? Eric Andre and Hannibal just doing a thing where it's like they each had each other's Tinders and they were messing with it. So I basically I took a page out of their book and I just wrote, I posted that and I just go, I'm nervous, I've never gotten this far. I sent 3 minutes, I just spam that, and then she sends another GIF, and then I just post 2 more things, and then I basically just go, this is the best part of it. She goes, I go, let me ask you something. Have you ever seen the masterpiece Jungle to Jungle? And she goes, and then she just goes, no. And I'm like, neither have I, but I want to. And then she goes, oh, what's it about? And I'm like, it's got Tim Allen in it. I don't need to know what the plot is. And she's like, true. And I'm like, it's got Buzz Light. If it's something that's Buzz Lightyear in it, it's I'm on board for whatever it is. And she's like, true, man, true. And then I finished off this morning with, have you ever looked outside when it's raining and just thought to yourself, if there was enough water on the road and I was wearing a life jacket, could I just lay down and float away? And I've yet to get a response from that.
Oh, yeah, she definitely wants it, though. Dan, I would definitely continue with that. I would message her every day.
I'm just going to do that.
Don't do that, actually.
No, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that and see what happens.
Like, I wouldn't get
Not
offended if she
every day.
unmatches you, but...
No, definitely not. I'm just trying to see how far I can go.
Funny. That's
Every
funny.
day, just be like, hey, have you seen this American classic known as blank, blank, blank? Spider-Man 3 every day.
Jungle the Jungle is very good, guys. Just saying.
I've never watched
And
it.
it's
I've
actually
never heard
not
of
that
it.
good, but... It's about a guy that lived in a jungle, and then Tim Allen brings him to America because apparently he's his son. And
Is it the plot to Tarzan 2? If it ever were to happen.
Where does he bring
yeah,
him to?
kinda. It's what?
What does he bring him to? He brings
He brings him to New York, actually.
I get it, because it's the concrete jungle.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then the
That's
jungle.
what they mean. Yeah, yeah.
I've heard like
Very
two-
clever name,
See
right?
what you did there.
The only thing, though, is that we were talking about this last night, is that there's a 2 within the title, like the number 2. It's not, T-O. So it's literally like, everyone thinks it's a sequel, but it's not a sequel.
Where's the first
Why
Jungle
would they
to Jungle?
do that? Like maybe they'll have like a Jungle or Jungle 3 Jungle.
Yeah.
And just like skipped out on the first one.
Yeah. Everyone's searching for the first one.
Maybe it's a spiritual successor to George for the Jungle.
Maybe it
Maybe it's
is.
the unofficial second sequel.
That is possible.
So,
So we were saying before, me and Frankie we just watched George of the Jungle 2 last night because we have a tradition of watching really bad kids films. So we skipped over the first George of the Jungle because Brendan Fraser's absolutely amazing in that one. We just went straight to the one that didn't have him in
It's
it.
Brendan Fraser. Everybody loves him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you noticed though? Have you noticed with Brendan Fraser's career that they seem to be replacing him in like a lot of movies? Like I feel like it was George of the Jungle, and now they just did The Mummy, and I feel like they're gonna make
wait, how do they make a
he's
sequel
older.
and not put him in the sequel? If he's the main character of the sequel.
Frankie, this is you. Tell him why.
Okay, so can I tell you something about how they address it in the movie?
Of course.
Okay, well, they break the fourth wall all of the time in George of the Jungle, and then, like, basically the narrator gets on and he goes, wait a second, you're not George. And then George looks at the camera and goes, oh, me new George. Studio too cheap to hire Brendan Fraser. And then he goes, oh, how did you get the role? He goes, I don't know, new George Lucky, I guess. And then, like, that's the way that they just addressed it.
That's amazing.
The movie, which actually kind of makes it a masterpiece because the movie knew it was good. Like the producers and overall, who made it? Disney. Disney basically screwed over everyone who was working on this movie, but because I feel like they had the movie planned out and they had the rights to it and they were gonna do it already, but then the studio just gave them a shit budget or something. I find it funny because they just basically knew that was gonna happen, and instead of just avoiding the shit, they just steered right into it and just basically went along with everything, knowing this movie was going to be shit.
We looked up
And
the
in my-
budget. It was like $32 million or something like that.
All right, yeah. So they really just wanted to make money off. Of
There's
people.
literally a
That's-
part we
that's
were,
fucked up.
me and Dan were talking about this. We really would love to see what the budget was budgeted out on though, because like there's this one part where
What are you talking about?
one of the characters is in the room. He's
Like the main. So they only brought 2 characters from the first movie back.
Yeah.
And like it was like the one guy who was originally going to marry Ursula,
Okay.
and he's obsessed with her.
his name is Lyle.
They brought Lyle back, who's also the Sandman in Spider-Man 3, by the way.
Yeah, Thomas
Oh,
Hayden
no
Church.
way.
Yeah. So Thomas
So-
Hayden Church. I think that's his name, Thomas Hayden Church.
I think so.
So anyway, Thomas Hayden Church comes back, and basically he's on the phone with Ursula's mom because Ursula's mom's trying to go to the jungle to sabotage George and Ursula's relationship, and like he's sitting there in a room with everything on her face on it. He's got a pillow with her face on
Everything's
it.
got her face on it. Because he goes, like the mom goes in and says, "You're gonna need to quell your obsession with her if you want to get her back." And he's like, "I think I can do that." And he's really stroking a pillow with her face on it.
He's got like a china in the background with all plates with her face on it.
And we're like, this is where the entire budget of this movie went. Because there's CGI animals in this movie. A good portion of the animals are CGI in it, and they're just crap. Like, it's the worst CGI I've ever seen.
Probably.
Like, let's just do ranking. Like, we have Jurassic Park, the pinnacle of CG animals, quote unquote, and then we have like, you know, what's that shitty movie called? Food Fight.
Oh,
Food Fight wasn't even. Wait,
So,
we're talking about the
Food
one
Fight
with
is a masterpiece.
Charlie Sheen. Food
Yes.
Fight.
Charlie Sheen
So,
Food Fight.
in between those two, masterpiece and complete trash, what would you rank the CG animals?
Maybe
into?
like 2 or 3 movies above Food Fight.
Yeah, I would agree. Maybe
so
2.
but all right. So about Birdemic kind of type thing, or
Well, Birdemic I think actually is lower than Food Fight.
you think so?
No,
I don't
Birdemic's a
know.
national treasure.
Birdemic's a good
Top
movie.
5.
Very good, very good. Great script, great acting.
But like,
Great sound.
also,
Best sound ever.
yeah, sound design was perfect in that
I
one.
love the joke in the movie about the set because they go ahead and like, it's clear that the set shit like it looked like they filmed some of the scenes in somebody's backyard in like San Diego, California, or something like that. It looked like they filmed it in like somebody's backyard. Some of these scenes.
We're talking about Birdemic or...
No, I'm
George of
talking
the
about
Jungle.
George of the Jungle too.
I mean, Birdemic's
But-
whole movie looks like it was filmed in a backyard.
But this one also looks like, if you look at the movie, it's like some of the scenes look like a jungle, and then other scenes look like it was filmed in like somebody's backyard. So what was great about it was like the narrator, who by the way is I think the best character in the whole entire movie, goes ahead and he's just like, "Oh, you might notice that there's something different about the jungle. It's not just because we're using a different set. It's also like they straight up say they're using a different set from the first movie too. It's like they're just like
very
letting us know
self-aware?
they're putting everything on the table for us
Isn't it
now.
honest?
but
It was honest. It was. I get to give it props. It was honest.
Dan's favorite part of the whole movie was the soundtrack.
Oh my god! Another thing that they should have put money into besides the CGI instead of all those fucking pillows was there was only one song in the entire movie. Two songs in the entire movie. They just basically replayed the George of the Jungle theme every time.
Every single time. Like,
For any of you listening out there, if you want to do a great drinking game, do George of the Jungle 2. And these are the following things you take a shot to. You take a shot every time George fucking smacks into something or hits something. You take a shot every time they play the George of the Jungle theme song, whether it be instrumental or full. And then we had one more. What was the third
I
one?
don't even remember the third one, honestly.
Oh, it was like we were drunk watching that movie. Every time they showed a CGI animal, I think.
I think that was it. Yeah, like a really bad because
A really bad CGI animal.
there was the lion. They called it the mean lion, and like the mean lion basically was like when he was talking, his mouth was still moving, like even after he was done talking a little bit.
But what I thought was even better about the lion was it's just like they pretty much just took a cutout of a lion and just slapped it on. Like it like they just had like a backdrop and they just took this like because he like the lion looked so much different than the backdrop all the time.
yeah.
It was like different. It looked like it was taken straight out of some other sort of film of some kind.
And they
Like,
would
I
just slide him behind bushes and stuff, so it didn't make it look so obvious. That it
yeah,
was
but
the
it's like
exact
you
same
can
thing.
clearly see though. Like they tried to hide it, but you can clearly see it's the same shot of the lion just being
Like,
used.
if you were to
I gotta watch
in the
this.
if you were to
same
Google
pose.
green
You have
screen
to.
lion,
It's-
that's what it would have been.
I feel like it would have been. I feel
It's a gem.
It
You
is.
gotta
It's
watch
like
it.
it's one of the best like good to be bad movies.
If you have
I've ever
Netflix,
seen.
it's on there.
Why?
Really?
Here's the crazy thing though.
When Netflix
It's
decides
not-
what to put on there, what do they
Hold on.
say?
This is the crazy thing though, because before we went to Netflix, we looked on the Fire Stick. It's not on the Fire Stick. Nobody put it up on put a stream of that online. Yet Netflix has it. I think that's astonishing because that's like the first movie I've
in
ever
cahoots.
found that's not
Yeah.
on the Fire Stick.
I think they're in cahoots.
I thought that was crazy.
I think it's just because of the Netflix deal with Disney. Like Disney's like, here's all of our shitty films.
Yeah, that's basically what
Yeah,
Somebody
like, you
wants
know,
to watch
They're
it.
like, here's some shitty
somebody
films.
might want to watch
Give us
George of the
money.
Jungle too.
Yeah, it's like literally, it's like they got Jungle Book 2, George of the Jungle 2, all of the sequels that like never did anything.
I was watching Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
My
How was
favorite
that?
movie.
It was very bad. It was terrible. It was poorly shot, and like you'd think they would take place in a mall, but it doesn't.
What?
And it's like the whole movie. I was kind of like, I wish they were in a mall right now, and not in fucking Vegas in a hotel.
You know they're gonna get a third one. You know it's gonna happen.
It's going to.
I really hope not. Tell me that movie did not do well.
Well, how much did it? How much? I think it all determines on how much that movie
Google
earned.
and see how much money.
I highly doubt it, man. That movie came out like 7 years after the first one. Like, it should not have existed. It was so bad. And like his daughter looks like she's as old as he is, you know? It's like it was kind of funny at the beginning because it was like, and then his wife left him at the altar.
Alright, so would
and I was
like
like,
to hear
good,
this?
because the fucking woman that he was gonna marry was like way too good for him. Like that should not have fucking happened. Like,
Wait, in the
Paul
first
Clark's-
movie?
Yeah, because like they like, you know, they started making out and shit, and it's like that was really unexpected, and I don't see this working out for him, but I really hope they don't do it.
Would you like to know how much money?
I want to know.
Alright, so Paul
bring
Blart
out the
Mall Cop
numbers.
2 was made for $30 million, and it grossed $100 million worldwide.
100 million worldwide. That might not be enough profit margin for a third one.
I mean, you know, they can make a nice cheap one, make a nice third
they
one.
could actually do a
Put out like another 30.
I would support it.
Oh man.
Where is where is what's his name? Who plays Paul Blart again?
Kevin James?
Kevin James.
He has a TV show now.
Oh yeah, he just got a new TV show that's basically just the sequel to King of Queens.
Basically.
Okay, good.
It's not an official sequel because it doesn't have any of the same cast other than him. But
Well,
it's
Adam
pretty much
Sandler
the exact...
made a random cameo for some reason.
Oh,
Can we
that's how
get-
you know it's bad.
Can we get Paul Blart Mall Cop 3D? That might be one I would consider seeing in 3D.
I feel like Adam Sandler's acting.
would be
career
very
has gone
good.
So far down the
Right?
toilet.
That's
That would be
another one
awesome.
That would be so bad.
That would be such a meme in like 5 years after that's been made, you know?
for real. Right?
So,
Oh my
just
God.
for reference, Surge of the Jungle 2 is direct-to-video.
Yes, it was. That I know.
So, they're no really telling what the budget was, because it was just DVD sales.
What I thought was funny was I would always see that movie on Cartoon Network growing up as a kid, though. They went straight to DVD, but it was like on Cartoon Network a lot.
George of the Jungle 2?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I remember seeing that on Cartoon Network a lot because I remember I watched that kid a good number of times. Like I watched that movie a good number of times as a kid.
Well, they can't have money to play good movies. They have to play, like, you know,
And it's true. Cartoon
third-tier
Network.
movies.
Cartoon Network plays some weird movies.
There was that one weekend, like, when they had Toonami, they played all the Miyazaki movies, like, back-to-back.
I think I remember that too. How
Back
long
in the
ago?
day.
How long ago was that?
That was probably, like, I'm going to guess, like, 04, 05,
Sounds
if I had
about
to
right.
guess.
Sounds about right.
Let me look that up while I have the chance. But you guys got any relevant topics for the day?
Relevant topics. Okay. Well.
Oh, I've got one.
Okay.
Where's my phone? I'm gonna do the thing. So, what if I was to tell you I had Seth Rogen's phone number?
I wouldn't believe you.
Oh, really? We can call him up right now.
Let's call him up right now.
I'll call him up right now. Hold on, let me pull him up in my contacts. Seth.
I have a rant for later, actually.
Good.
Doesn't involve Spider-Man 3.
No.
Hold on, the phone's ringing.
Hello? It me?
Hold on.
It's exciting.
Yeah, this is Seth. Thanks for calling. Leave me a message. I'll get back to you. Goodbye.
That was fake.
That's fake.
That's so fake.
There's
I
no
know
way
it's
that-
fake.
There's no way that's real.
I was gonna be like, where the hell did you get Seth Rogen's phone number?
No, because...
Were you scouring the Reddits?
No, okay. So, recently I just started watching the Eric Andre show, and because of Mark Doherty's recommendation to me.
Oh, Eric Andre's hilarious. Yeah.
He is really hilarious, and his show's fucking hilarious as well. And I just started watching it recently, and they had one episode where they had Seth Rogen on, and they go ahead and they're like, they ask him like, what's your phone number? And he's like, what? It's like, here, we're just gonna put it up on the screen. We're gonna put it up on here right now. And I'm like, wait a second, I don't see an 800 in that anywhere. That's a real number. So I'm like, I wonder what would happen if we called that. So I went back and looked up the number in my spare time and I called it. And I'm like, oh shit, that's Seth Rogen's voice. But now here's my thing, and I really hope there are no women listening to it, because like I think it was. Did you make the suggestion about this? Where basically any date that I go on, I can just say to the girl, "Hey, so I have Seth Rogen's phone number," and then I can call up Seth Rogen's phone, and then I can leave him a voicemail.
Hey Seth, this is Leahey.
Yeah, no, I just leave him a voicemail, and then boom, girls think I know Seth Rogen.
I mean, that will work. You know, you should do that.
I want to try that.
Maybe that actually is his phone number, and then he only like has it in his phone to accept calls he knows.
I mean, honestly, I thought it was his real number, and then he just canceled it. But I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I feel like what I'm more astonished about, like, yeah, it is definitely a fake number, but the astonishing part of that is that it's still an active number. Like, I don't know how long ago this number was used for that bit with Seth Rogen, but it's still an active number, which means Adult Swim still has that line open.
I mean, maybe it's like they have like a track phone or something, and they just pay like $20 a month to keep it on, just for ha-has.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I just find that really funny.
I think it's...
Which means I could leave a voicemail, and that's honestly going somewhere. That's not like just getting recycled or anything. That's just going somewhere. That's going on
like
somebody's
10 years
phone.
from now, they're having the Eric Andre show. Like, let's listen to the voicemails that we got sent to this number for the last 10 years.
Like, I'm just like gonna tweet
Hey,
Eric.
this is Leahey.
I'm gonna tweet Eric. I'm gonna tweet Eric Andre and just be like, so listen, man, I've been calling Seth Rogen's phone and he's not going ahead. He's not calling me back. Can you just reply? Can you go ahead and send these messages to him? Oh my god,
He would respond to that.
That's gonna be pretty funny.
I would love. I just want to see how that plays out. I'm gonna do that, and I want to see how it plays
I
out.
wish the Eric Andre show was like 5 hours long.
That would be great. Well, I mean,
Like
it
10
can
minutes
be if you go and watch the full season.
I've never watched it.
If you go watch a full season,
Isn't like a full season like 2 hours though?
I don't know. Each episode's
on,
like
like, every
15
night?
minutes.
Yeah.
I don't entirely know where they stand right now because I know they only have 4 seasons up, and I don't know when the last season was posted. But what I find Eric Andre's show is just basically making fun of all late night talk shows because it's like they don't even like, because they bring on like celebrities, or what they say is going to be celebrities. I think it's hilarious when they say they're going to bring on somebody. Like the first episode, they say they're going to bring on George Clooney. And it's like he introduces George Clooney, and it's not actually George Clooney. It's just some really big fat guy, like not fat, but like a big heavy guy in a suit. And it's just like he's talking, and it's like, George, do some of your famous stand up, and the guy goes up and he's like, hey, how's it going? And airline food, and he's just mumbling up there, and it's just he sits down, and then like it's just so random. But then the great part about that is like after George Clooney left, they go ahead and he's like, all right, now introducing Dolph Lundgren, and it's actually Dolph Lundgren. Like, it's like they go ahead and they have like it's actually Dolph Lundgren they brought on.
To be fair, Dolph Lundgren's like a C-list actor, so
Don't you dare talk shit about Dolph Lundgren.
But everybody at least loves Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah.
That knows who
he's
he
known.
is.
But
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, he's known as, but he's like
you
a
probably
big
pay
C
him
actor.
like $10,000 and he'll show up.
I'd say B actor. I feel like he's a B actor.
No.
I wouldn't
He
even.
made one like semi A-list movie in his career.
Listen,
That's
he's an
about it.
expendable, all right. He's there.
I mean, it's just
yeah.
because he's Dolph Lundgren doesn't mean he's,
Listen. I would cast Dolph Lundgren. in
You probably
any
could
movie.
afford to cast Dolph Lundgren because you could probably get him for cheap.
I don't think so. I think he's a D. But
No,
like,
you could probably get him.
but,
cheap.
like,
you'd be really surprised of all the people. that you
Is
can get
Dolph
for cheap.
Lundgren like Eric Roberts material?
He's a little bit more expensive than Eric Roberts, but he's not as expensive as like Paul Sorvino or like Amanda Sante type things.
Paul Sorvino is
really that much?
Dude, he was paid like the dude was paid like $40,000 for like 3 days, and only one of them was like a half day, like, and that was in the contract.
So now you guys
So
are
it
just
was like
making me
two and
want
a
to
half
do this
two and a half
stuff.
shoot days for like $30,000.
Wow, I'm actually really shocked. In all honesty, I'm
Yeah.
very surprised at that price for him.
Yeah.
But he wasn't one of the greatest films of our generation, not our generation, but our time.
Which one?
Goodfellas.
Goodfellas.
So is it wrong that I won Goodfellas in a card game, the DVD, and I have yet to watch it?
You've never seen Goodfellas?
No.
Ever?
No.
That's
Oh,
a good
damn.
movie to watch. Go watch
Yeah.
that.
It's a good movie night. We got a TV. We can watch
Yeah,
it.
we've got the tiny
we
little
got
TV
this.
in the corner. Doesn't even have a DVD player
We should
installed
do
in it.
Tiny TV with Dan Leahey.
Tiny TV with big Leahey.
But you're you guys are really making me want to try and build up Dolph Lundgren's acting career now. You're like, I feel like if I ever made it, I'm gonna
mean-
keep that in the back of my head. I'm like, you know something? I'm gonna build him up. I'm gonna build him from the ground. I'm
He's
gonna
gonna put him in every
be
movie.
good. I'm gonna be good friends with him.
How
I'm
old
gonna
is
throw him in
he?
everything.
The
You know
dude's
he's
probably
got
like
courtside
60.
seats to the Lakers, right?
What was
not
that?
He's got courtside seats to the Lakers.
I'm sure he's got money.
He's got money,
I am
so
sure, too,
it's not like
yeah.
he's suffering.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Can I see that? I've never touched a fidget spinner before.
You live in New York City and you've never had a fidget
I've
spinner?
never, no.
You walk by probably 83 of these a day.
Yes, yeah, hundreds.
Of course. I got purple because that's what I wanted. So you know how I got one of these? I was at work the other day at the old mall.
Oh.
And a girl came in with a silver one, same exact one, same kind. And I'm like, I want one. So I told my coworker, I'll be right back. Went over to the old, main China shop. I said, I want a purple fidget spinner. It's the last one they had. Have a nice day. I came back. He's like, did you really walk over there?
Just to get a fidget spinner?
Absolutely, I did.
There's some really cool ones. Like, I see the Batman ones. I see the Captain America shields. Yeah. I'm like,
I just find they're way too expensive than they need to be.
Well, obviously that. But, like, to me, this is... You know what this is right here? This is, to me, like, I used to play with the bearings on my skateboards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, like, this is literally, like, a bearing on a skateboard.
You're absolutely
it's
right.
It's a ball bearing.
Right?
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Like
I feel you, yeah.
I feel like if you took a red, like one of the red bearings, like that brand, and you just attached it to something, you would get this because those things spin forever.
Someone's gonna go to their bike and then just put it on it and just be like, "Wait a second."
Wait just a darn minute.
And I used to do this all the time with my bearings on my skateboard, like the ones that I wasn't using at the moment, and except you wouldn't get this cool little...
Thinking back on it now, I should be like, shit, I could have made a lot of money.
Thank you for letting me play with that.
Oh, you know what?
We need to get you one.
Yes, I need to get one.
We need to take them to the
Fidget
mall.
spinners were made in
I think so. I want a Batman one.
Yeah, but they didn't
Do they have the
take
cool
off,
ones like the
surprisingly.
Batman ones
No,
over
they
there?
didn't.
Yes, of course.
Really?
And then they took off.
If you go to the
like,
Middletown
now,
Flea Market, they have
somebody
Really?
saw it and was like,
$4.
I
That's
should
awesome.
sell those, and that.
I mean, I don't know if you're gonna get
bundle.
lead
Wait, we
poisoning
got two
from them,
conversations
but-
going
I'm not
on.
going to put them in my mouth, but...
Yeah, like I wouldn't. I'm trying to be careful with touching it because I'm afraid I'm gonna get lead poisoning.
Oh,
or something.
yeah. It was like...
I like how I got my fidget spinner. My job's been selling them like crazy. We first started selling them behind redemption counters, and then
you give them away as prizes, right?
well, not giveaway. You have to spend 500 tickets on it. But then we also
500 tickets.
But then we went ahead and put them in a crane game. And now we go ahead and we have
Oh.
2 ways to get fidget spinners. And I just keep expecting. I expect my job is gonna have like 5 different ways.
Do you still have people
fidget
asking like,
spinners.
"Hey, can I just buy one?"
Yes.
And do you sell them?
No.
You don't.
No, we can't sell
You're losing
anything
business.
unless it's got the company logo on it. We can't sell anything.
I mean, you could. You're an independent business.
You guys
So
should just
in
get
theory-
stickers and
But
just slap it on
what I
whatever
thought
it
was
is.
really
This is
fun-
purple, so you
Can-
could get insert Dan Leahy's company arcade here.
But what I thought was really funny, though, I mean, we could. That's honestly not a bad marketing tactic, and I feel like that's gonna end up
So
thing.
spinner,
You're gonna have to bleep that out.
bleep spinners. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, that's probably going to be where it's going to, honestly, because I could see them doing that at some point. Problem is that how long are the fidget spinners going to be lasting as a thing?
They might last a while. I feel like they're gonna die down a little bit.
I mean, they
but
lasted
they're
longer
still
than
gonna be
Pokemon
around.
Go, so anything's
They're
possible.
still gonna be around for a while.
It's like silly bands.
Yeah.
Those were the
I
trend
mean,
of the day.
Yeah.
I think silly bands are more faddish,
That's
but
true, yeah.
I think this is gonna stick around for a little bit longer, and then it's gonna go down, but they're still gonna be around.
Like, when's the last time you saw something that every stand in any mall has tons of these? What's the last trend you can think of?
That's a good question.
That's actually a
Silly
very good question.
bands.
Honestly, I feel like we can go to any
I don't
vendor at
remember.
any vendor at a mall now.
I walk the streets of New York and see these,
Yeah. Like, I've honestly never seen anything like this before, and I don't know if I'm just naive
No, you're right. No,
or if
'cause-
I just haven't spent enough time in a mall.
yeah, I don't know. I really can't think of
don't
anything
know.
that's like that. It's you're right.
It's very simple, but it's like, oh, yeah. I waited long enough. I just, have my lighter.
Yeah.
Oh, that girl went ahead and texted me back.
Oh,
Let me see. She told me no. She. Okay, I need a good.
Where does she live?
That was in response to the life jacket question.
Yeah,
just
that was in
for
response to the
anyone
life jacket question. She
Does
said
she
no.
live in outside town, or does she live in the
I don't know.
old?
It says she's 24 miles away.
So she's in the Oldville.
listening. Okay, can I just bring up?
I'm gonna
this
ask
rant
her if
for-
she's thinking about it now that I brought it up.
I have to bring up this rant real quick.
Yeah,
So,
please.
one of my rants of the day is the fact that I think Disney World is wasting a lot of money on making this James Cameron's Avatar land.
Mm-hmm. Do you know any Avatar fans out there?
No.
Have you ever met somebody who's like, "Oh, I love Avatar. It's one of my favorite."
Maybe
I've
a couple years back when the movie 1st
I've
came out.
never ever in my life seen a top 20 list of movies that includes Avatar.
Neither have I. And I think that, here's the thing. There's so much wrong with this park to me. Number one was the fact that the park specifically, James Cameron says, takes place after all of these planned sequels that haven't even begun filming yet.
I don't think he's even written the script for his sequels.
Well, he claims that he's got 4 more that he wrote everything for, but I don't know. You know,
This is James Cameron we're talking about,
Yeah.
so
about another 40 years, and then we'll have all of those maybe.
yeah. I think we get. How many do you honestly think he's going to get to?
2.
Yeah, maybe.
Yep.
I think he makes it to maybe.
I think 3. Honestly,
maybe
realistically, 3.
But why 5? It's very random.
I think honestly the second one isn't going to do
Like, have
good.
any of you seen
I
that?
think the
No.
I think
and it's not going to fund a third one.
I
No one's
actually
going to want
think
to
that
pick it
the
up.
second one is going to do very good, and the reason why is because it was so overhyped for like such a long time, because he's been like building it up, and then like there's constant articles about it, and like
Maybe we're all wrong, and he's actually got this great idea.
maybe he does, and that's possible.
I doubt it.
It could
but
be like what I can only imagine is that Earth comes back with like a full armada, and it's like a war kind of thing.
War of the Avatar.
War of the Avatar, maybe. I don't know. That's about the only thing I could see. That's really the only thing I
The
can
one
see.
thing
from
that
this whole
insults me
movie.
the most is that, we can't reference the greatest TV show of modern times without saying, oh, it's The Last Airbender, not Avatar. You know what I mean? That's
Well,
what
you could
insults
say
me.
Avatar:
That's
The Last
yeah.
Airbender.
No, how about just Avatar, which is,
Yeah,
greatest show
that's
of
what we
modern
were
times.
saying for a little bit, and then when James Cameron's Avatar came out,
And then, Shamalama Doondong.
and then he said The Last
Had to-
Airbender, and we created
yeah.
this divide.
I heard that he
The Great Divide?
is
The
actually
Great Divide.
Shalamalama Ding Dong is actually apparently making another. I heard another Last Airbender movie. That I heard that somewhere, and I was like really hoping it's fake, and I'm
Yeah,
kind of
it's fake.
it's got to
There's
be.
no way.
It's got to be. There's no way that movie made enough money.
And I don't want to be insulting towards the man, because I'm sure he's a very talented individual.
I mean, he definitely came back
Well, listen,
with
Split,
Yeah,
is like
I'm
solid.
not insulting the man by any means. I have done my fair share of blasting him in the past.
So have I.
But to be fair, he is a established individual in Hollywood. He knows what he's doing, to some extent.
Or I was gonna say,
some
at least he should know what he's doing.
He should know what he's doing.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's like
I mean, for some reason, most production companies keep backing him.
Because they. I mean, I think.
if you
I
look,
think they believe in him
he
as the
seems
thing.
to get smaller and smaller budgets every time.
Yeah, that's true.
I think the Village. What was it called? The
Village.
The Visit. I think The Visit was like $1 million movie or something. Like
Oh,
that.
the one with the grandparents.
Yeah. I
That
think
one was
like,
just terrible.
like he went from like After Earth, which was like a big blockbuster bust, to now he's getting like here's a little bit of money to make your little movie.
But Split seemed like it had like a pretty decent enough budget
Yeah.
though. Like
I feel like if you give him less, he'll do more because
Yeah.
he's only
Yeah.
given a little bit of a budget.
Yeah, that might just be how he's got to work,
Yeah.
And I mean, I think Split did really good in the box office, from what I heard.
yeah.
I mean, I actually saw that in theaters with somebody. I really didn't want to see it, to be honest. And I was like, wow, there's a lot of people here for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like the second week showing. I think like that's I think like when you're working with less, it allows you to be more creative.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I could probably, if I had like $20 million to make a movie, it would look really blockbustery and like wow, they did so much with this movie. But like if I had like $5 million, it would probably be a much better movie. I mean, I actually don't know how it's spent $5 million, to be honest. But like I think that's how it. I really think that's how a lot of people should be making films. Really, like I'm sick of billion-dollar budgets, for 2 movies.
Well, I mean, when you're getting like, what was the last Pirates movie before the new one? Was that
that's
Stranger
Stranger
Tides.
Tides.
was that the most expensive movie ever made, or something like that?
It may have been.
It may have been the biggest budgeted movie ever.
That may have been.
Yeah.
Big budget doesn't mean good.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
There's plenty of big budget movies that have failed.
Can I actually? Have you guys seen the newest pirate movie by any chance?
No.
I haven't. I'm not a big
Frankie,
fan.
Yeah, of course. I saw.
Oh,
it
that's
twice.
right. You were talking.
I've seen the first one, and I thought that's a pretty. It's a pretty deep. Yeah, it's not.
You know better.
Yeah, I know.
Dixon.
So that's a pretty decent movie. But,
Well-
honestly, I don't have any interest in going to the next few. I mean, you might be a bigger fan than I am.
Well,
but
are you talking
I
about the
love
most current one?
yes.
Oh, my biggest problem, honestly, I liked a lot the new Pirates movie. The problem was, and it's not so much a problem. This wasn't the problem with it. However, I will say it did for Pirates what Force Awakens did for Star Wars, and that's that. I mean, with Star Wars, it's one thing because they haven't been a good Star Wars movie in a while. But with Pirates, I feel like there's not enough in there to pull this kind of move, where they basically like we were talking about this. Me and a bunch of my friends were talking about this after we saw the movie. It's basically just the first Pirates movie reskinned, which I'm not saying that didn't make it bad. I'm just saying I feel like there wasn't enough of a gap between, like, I mean, with Star Wars, they've got about 6 movies in between.
But to be fair, The Force Awakens was literally a reskinning of New Hope.
No, it was. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Pirates did for. That's what I'm saying. Pirates did for. Like the 5th movie did for Pirates what Force Awakens did for Star Wars. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying in Star Wars' defense, they have more of a gap than Pirates does to pull a move like that.
Gotcha.
I saw a good analogy of The Force Awakens, though, when there was a guy that mentioned basically how every Star Wars movie is basically the same. You have the basic same premise of every movie.
I don't think so. I mean,
to some
I feel
extent,
like
all movies have the same sort of...
I feel like the prequels were different, though. Because I didn't, like... I mean, it's kind of understandable with 4, 6, and 1.
Yeah.
But I feel like the other 3 were different.
Yeah, like you have 4. You have, the boy who finds the master. Episode 1, you find the boy who finds the master. Second one, you have some bad stuff that happens, and he's, discovering himself, yada, yada, yada.
Oh, you're talking about in that sense.
Okay. And then the third one, everything goes to shit in a good way and a bad way. You know what I mean?
Oh my god.
You know what, guys? I don't mean to end this conversation, but am I the only one that's kind of getting sick of talking about Star Wars?
I mean, I don't. I mean, I don't. I mean, I love Star Wars, so I can. I mean, if I don't mind stop talking about. I'm actually gonna put it back to Pirates though, because I did want to finish up saying.
I didn't mean to end the conversation.
No, that's fine. I actually did want to get back on Pirates.
Am I really the only one? I'm like the only one. I mean, and Frankie, you're a little bit sick of it too, right?
I mean, I've become really drawn out with Star Wars, to be honest.
I mean, I love Star Wars, but I don't mind not talking about it.
I love Star Wars and I love the movies, but I feel like all I ever hear about is Star Wars now.
Yeah,
and
that's the way I feel. That's the way I feel.
And it's just like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Star
Wars is like all everyone talks about all day, and like that's like my.
It's gotten to a point where it's like, I don't care.
Well then, let me say what I was gonna say that annoyed me with Pirates. Going back to Pirates now. So what really bothered me was at the very end of the movie. Like I feel like this movie was tagged as being the last Pirates movie. Or at least in most of the commercials that I watched for it, tagged it as being the last Pirates movie. But it turns out it's not the last Pirates movie. Turns out it's going to be part of it's the first in another...
A reboot?
No, it's the first in another trilogy. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
That's a possibility.
No, it is, because I remember, because then I watched another, after I saw the movie, I saw 2 more trailers for it after that. One of the trailers said, oh, this is going to be the last movie. But then another trailer said, "This is the first. This is the beginning of the end."
A lot of quote unquote sagas do that. Like the last Fast and Furious 7 said the last ride, but it just meant the last ride for Paul Walker. Yeah.
Yes, I know.
I hate that.
And now they're gonna end at 10.
Well, look at Saw the final chapter. There's Jigsaw coming out soon.
Yeah.
The other thing is,
oh my god, I'm fucking up. Friday the 13th 4, the end.
No,
I hate when Hollywood does that.
Friday the 13th, Part 5. Jason lives.
Jason goes to hell.
That's
Jason X.
Jason X.
As far as I know, they've got another 2 pirate movies down the road. But I will say I'm happy because they've got the original cast back. I will say that. I think because I figured out I know the reason why the 4th Pirates movie actually sucks. Like the first one was definitely the best. Second 2, the next 2 might have lacked a little bit, but. What definitely hurt the franchise with the 4th one was, and I've said this to countless people, is that I realize now the problem is that Jack Sparrow people think is the main character. Jack Sparrow is not the main character of the Pirates franchise. Jack Sparrow's always been the supporting character, because if you think about it, the main characters have always been Will Turner and Elizabeth Swann. Like in the first movie, they are literally the first 2 people you meet in the entire movie. It starts off with them. Will's the whole goal in like the first movie is, oh, Will's got to go ahead and he's got to save Elizabeth from pirates, and then he has to team up with Jack Sparrow. Jack Sparrow's the witty supporting character throughout the whole thing. Which, by the way, Jack Sparrow is also kind of dwindled. He went from being a really witty character to being somewhat of a kind of like a very drunken idiot, which is kind of disappointing. But you go ahead and you have Will, who's like he's like the main character at the whole thing, and like even throughout the next movie, because like in the second movie, it's like, oh, Will's got to go ahead and save Elizabeth from prison, and in order to do that, he's got to team up with Jack Sparrow to go ahead and do this, and then later he's got to save his father, and then it carries over in the third movie where he's got to save his father from pirates, and it's just, and then it's like, you know, Will and Elizabeth were the main characters. And then you got rid of the main characters. So what did you have left? You had only a handful of supporting characters that you had to throw into a lead position. And that was the problem, because you put all the spotlight on Jack then, and Jack honestly doesn't have enough about him to make a story. And they even tried throwing in another, like they've tried replacing the role of supporting character with some like Catholic kid, or some Christian kid or whatever he was. I don't remember the full details on him. I just remember he was a very religious kid.
He was an atheist man.
But then it's like that kid didn't even last long, and then I got very confused when I originally saw the trailers for the new movie, because then I thought, I'm like, is that the same kid from the fourth one? I can't tell, but then it turns out they're not. Yeah.
Was Paul McCartney actually in this movie?
Yes, he was.
What
Paul
role did he
McCartney?
play?
Yeah, Paul McCartney was.
What?
In it.
Yeah.
Wait. Paul McCartney in the Beatle.
Yes.
He was in the fifth.
Why
Wait,
was-
I
thought that was
doing?
fake.
It was a cameo. It was more of
I
a
thought
cameo.
that was fake. I'm like,
No,
Basically, it was a small scene where he was Jack Sparrow's uncle.
I feel like it didn't need to happen. It was pretty funny that it did. It didn't need to happen though, but it was just a nice little thing to see.
That's cool. I mean,
It was cool. It was a nice scene to make you crack up a little bit, you know.
It's just like Paul McCartney.
Because
No.
I think they got Keith Richards as his father in like one of the other ones or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
like his uncle.
Yeah, it was something like that. I think in the third one, I think it was Keith Richards, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. It was. But, yeah, it's just a pretty funny thing. But my whole thing though is like going back a little bit, backtracking to this Avatar thing is that I've been really following, like I'm on several sites like with the construction on some of these Disney World parks and everything, and like. The thing is like they've got 3 rides there. I saw footage of the inside of the rides and everything, and like, don't even get me started on this. I mean, the whole 4D attraction thing, which I think is becoming a little ridiculous now. You know what I mean? It's like, ride on the broomstick with Harry Potter in 4D.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, like, you know, as it is,
Darn.
we're making 4D movie theaters now. Like, why do we need 4D rides anymore?
The thing with the whole. What am I trying to think of? The gimmicks that they have in Hollywood is because they're really struggling as far as finding new original ideas.
Yeah.
They're there. They just don't want to take the risk of thinking, hey, let's take this original director idea and try and do something new.
It's not even a risk. It's lazy.
Exactly. Like, how many you can go to the movie theater right now, count how many remakes, reboots, or sequels there are in the theater. Guarantee you 9 out of 10 of them are all one of the above.
No, you're probably right. Though.
There are very few. That's what I give credit to Shyamalan. Shyamalan is one of the few original directors left.
Yeah.
Even though his movies are fairly similar, he's still making films that are a little more unique.
I wouldn't say few. All right, I wouldn't say few, because there's a lot of directors that aren't going to make a sequel. Like anybody that's good isn't gonna make like a sequel unless it's like Guardians of the Galaxy director, you know, like
Obviously,
like, you know,
those
they're
are-
stylized directors. That's cool, but like
Well,
you know,
that's a story that could be set up for a trilogy.
like obviously like you know like Tim Burton made like the first 2 Batman movies. You know that's good. You know Tim Burton, people like him. He has his own style and stuff. But you know you got like Kevin Smith, who he's not gonna make a movie to make money on it. He wants to make a movie
Because he wants
that
to make a
people
movie.
are gonna like and enjoy.
Well,
You know?
now he makes movies that he wants to make for himself.
Of course,
He doesn't
of
really
course.
make movies for his fans anymore,
I mean,
to some extent. He's
a
supposed to say,
little
"Oh,
bit.
I like that. Let me make that," which
Yeah.
I respect.
Yeah. No, that's art, you know, and that's what Scorsese does.
Mhm.
You know, he came out with Silence.
That was
definitely a
great
movie for him, but I loved it. I really enjoyed it.
I
That
wish
was
I
like-
saw it. I haven't seen it yet.
that probably, if you're a cinematographer, that's one of the best shot movies I've ever seen in my life.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I liked it.
That was a beautiful movie.
My thing was is that I liked it is that I was talking to my friend about this when we left the theater, and I said like Scorsese's got a thing for making bad people in movies really good. Like you know what I mean? Like that's his thing.
Yeah.
Like he makes great bad characters, but like this movie was just about good people, which was like weird to see at a Scorsese angle, and like it was really cool though. I mean, I really liked I liked it.
I didn't even like we walked out of it because it was too long. But like from what I saw, I didn't even get to Liam Neeson.
You didn't?
No.
Okay, I see.
So
I stayed for the whole thing.
I made it like 3/4 through, but I really want to see it again just because of how beautiful it looks.
I was gonna see it one day, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna watch it all by myself," because like I was by myself that day, and I had time to kill, and I was fucking sold out, and I was so pissed.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, the one time I can see it, because I'm not gonna take it.
That's the problem with
I'm not gonna take a girl out on a date to see an art film, unless it's like Swiss Army Men or something.
Swiss Army Men. I'm not gonna comment on that.
That movie was
I haven't
great.
seen it yet, so
I haven't seen that either.
Really?
No,
go see that.
The Lobster. American classic. Much better film.
Swiss Army Man. Watch it with like a friend, or watch it with like.
I was confused.
Like on a date. I wouldn't say a first date.
No, first date.
But like that movie's fun. Don't watch that by yourself. I mean, if you have to, watch it by yourself. But that movie's like really fun with friends. You know, and that's not spoiling anything. But just like.
Have you watched The Neon Demon yet?
I have not. I have to watch Neon Demon.
Fam, if you have time tonight, watch The Neon Demon.
I gotta watch that one. I want to watch. I mean, I just watched like you saw. I watched The Void, and that was wild. It's gonna be on Netflix on
The
July
Void
7th.
or Into the Void?
No, The Void. I watched Into the Void as well.
That's an acid trip.
That is an acid trip. The Void is like if you were on shrooms, and in an abandoned mental hospital. This is exactly what you would think is going on.
That's great.
Cool.
That is literally what the Void is. Into the Void is just an acid trip. Yeah, like
guy dies. All this
What's the
stuff.
What's the time on the podcast right now? What time?
We got about 45 minutes here, fam.
What?
I might close it out a little early just because I
You want to
gotta
close out a little bit early?
like in the next like maybe 10 minutes.
That's perfectly fine.
Okay.
That's fine with me.
Just because I
You gotta go cash your check and all that.
I do have to. I gotta. Thankfully, I've just started. I'm starting to go to the bank right next to actually next to my job, so it's a little quicker now.
Yeah.
I just gotta make sure I get there before 5.
right next to the
The place.
yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
The
you know what I got annoyed. I got annoyed by. Jesus Christ,
don't
man.
fall there.
Scared.
My job just cut my hours. Actually, that's what they called me for
Oh.
tomorrow.
I mean, that's
Which one?
honestly
The bad job, not the good job.
I don't know which one is what.
The good job. The bad job.
But
Damn.
Do
I mean, that's
fold
honestly
clothes or
good
do
for you, though, isn't it?
Hats.
Oh.
I need to get my Dixon de Harambe hat.
Oh yeah, I have it in my car.
Word?
Yeah.
I want that.
Yeah.
I want that.
Yeah, I got it to somewhat look decent, but it's
okay.
you.
I don't care. I like it. I want to see that hat.
Yeah.
I actually just found the hat I want you to print my new logo on once it's fully
course.
done at Walmart. I gotta go back and buy it. It's like for $3, so I'm like, ooh.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And Hobby Lobby too is a good place.
Yeah.
But no, I gotta wait for the new logo to get done, which I gotta hassle my friend Emily, who I'm having do it for me, because she made the original logo.
Yeah.
And she said she'd be up for making the new one.
When you do it, it's like what Chris did. He did that one-time thing. You do the $5 fee. It's not gonna look great, or you could just pay the $50 if you can use it for the rest of your life. I'm just saying.
What do you mean? Because I know you said that cheaper thing is definitely get the hat, but like, what's the deal with that?
If it's just gonna be like, do you plan on redesigning your logo anytime soon after that? Or is that gonna be
honestly, no, because like the whole thing with the current logo is I've had that maybe about for like 3 to 4 years now.
Yeah, I think you'd probably be okay with the $5 one. I mean, I've just try it out. I mean, what's the worst?
It's a $3 hat with a $5 logo printed on it. I mean, honestly, I don't see the
worst.
worst.
Not complaining.
I just want something to wear.
And if it
while
doesn't
I'm
look
working
good,
outside.
you can go do the other one.
I just want something to wear while I'm working outside. Like I want to have a director's cap.
Are you a dad hat kind of guy?
What do you mean by dad hat?
Are you a fitted? Are you a snappy snap? Or are you a washed hat kind of guy?
This is a dad.
That's a dad hat.
You know, it's like.
I mean, I'll either go with a dad. I hate
with a dad hat.
I would go with the dad hat.
Are you an athletic hat?
Dad hat or a baseball cap? I'm a big fan of one of those two.
Maybe an athletic type hat would be good for you, like the flex fit.
Or is that the ones that are currently going around? Because like I hate honestly I forget what types they are.
Come in one day and I'll show you.
It's just the type. You know, that had like the flat brimmed ones that are like pretty much everything now. The flat.
Is it structured?
the structured flat
it's
brim
just
ones. I hate those hats.
Yeah.
I really do. It's just because I'm like, it just feels so
we'll get you a dad
uncomfortable to
hat.
wear.
Yeah.
I hate wearing that. It feels so uncomfortable.
You're a dad hat guy, Dan.
Yeah, because like it
You're
depends.
born
Like
to
if
be
you
a
have a big
dad
head,
hat.
like you don't have
Dad
that big
hat
of a head.
Dan.
You
Dad hat
really don't
Dan.
have that big of a head. So
I actually
Yeah,
apparently
yeah.
do have a big head. Like
not
it's
really.
weird.
You actually have a pretty smaller head compared to mine. Because I don't know. What would you think? I'm usually pretty good at guessing, but
I usually
I'm
will,
really bad with them.
normally when I have notches on it though, it's
Yeah.
usually on like the last 2 notches that I usually fit
yeah,
my
so you
head
have
on.
a fairly large head. But most people that have big heads don't like to wear dad hats because they're kind of. It just depends on the type you get.
I just want one that's got a curved brim, not like
Yeah.
flat brim.
Some people like to call it the ghetto brim. I'm like,
I don't like the
messed up, man.
I don't like the flat brim. It's
That's
annoying.
No,
And-
I trust you with that.
I want to know your full opinion of what you have watched on Fan 4 Stick though.
Oh yeah, we gotta
like
talk
the
about
20
this.
minutes I watched of it, I mean, very generic. I mean, the first 20 minutes of the original Fantastic Four is excellent. I mean, it's one of my favorite superhero movies. It's just memorable because it's just kind of like, it's meme worthy. It's cringy, but it's good. It's good
I gotcha.
cringe.
Well, I had a conversation with a friend of mine about this. The problem with Fantastic Four is honestly, you gotta have the right level of cheese in there because the comics were somewhat cheesy because it's a family superhero team, So it's like it's got to be a little amount of cheese. Problem with the Fan 4 Stick film is they tried to get rid of the cheese.
Yeah.
They were like, let's just take this to be serious.
Let's make a serious Fantastic Four.
As much cheese as "Don't do drugs, kids" was in the first movie.
That was the best
great.
though.
beautiful.
That was
That was
the best part
great.
of the movie.
Listen, okay, I thought when you said original, I thought you were talking about the 90s.
No, no.
Okay, you see, okay, no.
I'm talking about the 05 Fantastic Four.
The 04 one was, I loved it.
It was great.
It was campy for its time, but it was good.
It was good.
I enjoyed it.
I think I actually really appreciate that one because of the fact that it really did. I think it wasn't afraid, like Dan said, to go and be cheesy like that.
Because the Fantastic Four honestly needs a little bit of cheese in it. Not a full.
Fan 4 Stick was just
not
a
a full
sellout movie.
What it needs.
Yeah.
What Fantastic Four, if they're gonna ever make another Fantastic Four movie, is they need to basically say the Fantastic Four is a pasta dish, and your waiter comes over and asks, "How much cheese would you like on it?" And you just go, "I'll tell you when to stop." You let them go, and you let them go, and you let them go, and you wait until the right moment, and then you tell them to stop. That way, you have a nice layer of cheese on top of your pasta. And there you go. That's Fantastic Four in a nutshell.
And there's just silence right
And there, yeah, just need to admire
So
it.
Fan 4 Stick was just like, okay, you can stop.
No, they didn't even. They just shoot him away.
Zardoz.
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 Have you seen America's Greatest Cinematic Achievement?
Zardoz.
Alright, so what you're going to do tonight is you're going to take him, you're going to lock him in a room by himself in the dark.
I mean, I also have to watch it, so I'll be there with him.
You're going to get one of those TVs that you can
We're gonna
change
get the
the
tiny
contrast.
TV.
You're going to put it in black and white, and you're going to watch Zardoz in black and white.
What if we just turn the settings on an HD camera to black and white, or not HD camera, an HD TV to black
Absolutely.
and
I support that.
You can do that.
white?
Yeah.
I feel like you can.
Remember the old TV used to be able to use the contrast and just like change it if you want? Yeah, that was great.
I didn't realize that TVs like that weren't common because those were both the TVs I had in my house when I was a kid. When I would go to I didn't realize that until much later in life because I figured out I was like, wow, I was the only one of those type of TVs in my house and everyone else had these different TVs. Wow, we were 20 years behind.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
I remember going to my grandparents' house back when they lived in the city, and I'd always stay. When I'd sleep over there, I'd sleep in their basement because they had a nice. It was like an apartment complex.
Yeah,
They owned the entire building, so I'd
cool.
sleep on the lower floor. And they had a really old television set, with the dial, only had maybe 5 channels on the antennas. And remember when I was little, I was just so fascinated by that thing because I'm so used to the other TVs, and I see this, and I'm like, how do I get this to work?
I'm sure Brian has 10 of those.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Those are big and heavy. That was the one we had in the living room, but we always stayed on 2 or 3 because of the because that was the way how you got the cable in there.
You think that the reason for that was why would you have contrast with a colored TV? Do you think there was some people that's I want it black and white?
That must have been
That's
it.
how I
It's
like
gotta
it.
be.
I don't live in color.
You spend all that money on a colored TV. I don't like how this looks.
Well, it's also those TVs with glare and stuff. What I was thinking was probably they would fix it to see the lighting in their room because maybe they're watching Batman and they're in a gray room, which like I feel like that show was just gray looking. Like, you know, like it's in color, but it's gray. You know, they shot it on cheap TV film stock.
I definitely see what you mean. Like, yeah,
and they might like be like, all right, so if we're gonna watch it, like, let's say this basement, they might want to bump up the colors a little bit. Let's bump up the contrast ratio to a little bit higher than it really should be. Let's bump up that saturation, which is really what I should have said instead of contrast ratio. But let's bump up that saturation, yeah, you know, and just to actually make it more visible. And that's just the way how the RGB like diodes worked back in the day too.
Turco, do you still
really adjust those?
Do you still collect records? Like, did you get any records lately?
You know, no.
Okay, I know this is like a question I should have asked you like years ago. But, you know.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I did it for like a little while in high school, like towards the end, but I stopped.
Oh.
Yeah, sad.
Oh.
You guys haven't seen each other in forever, have you?
No. I saw last time I saw Frankie was about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
That's
amazing.
It's a long time ago.
Well, I didn't see you for a while either, but probably not as long.
One thing I would like to say before we possibly wrap up is I went ahead and the other night I picked up since you mentioned it, you just reminded me of it. I picked up the Batman motion picture soundtrack. I'm talking the motion picture soundtrack to the Michael Keaton, Tim Burton Batman.
Yeah.
Let's just say I'm happy I spent $5 on that, and I really need to go back and watch the Michael Keaton Batman.
Can I make a concession?
Because
I've never seen Batman. The Michael Keaton version.
1989.
Never seen it.
Go watch it.
To be fair, it took me so long to watch The Dark Knight.
It was
I was like the last person on earth to watch The Dark Knight.
It was like, it's a movie that basically is like, okay, this is like Batman was originally really campy, and then this is the movie that made him very not campy, but he still had it was like they were at the bridging point where this is like the only Batman you'll see that's both dark and campy at the same time. Because it's like he's very much like the Batman we know, but he still has like a bunch of ridiculous gadgets. A bunch of ridiculous stuff will happen. Joker himself, Jack Nicholson, was even more ridiculous. Because I will say this about the soundtrack: it has at least the thing about the soundtrack. I don't recognize a single There's only 2 songs out of a 9 song soundtrack that I actually remember from it. Because the main reason I got this was I thought to myself, I'm like, oh my god, I could be driving down the streets. Blasting the Batman theme song on my radio. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And people
the Batman theme song is not on the soundtrack. It's not on the soundtrack.
He didn't buy the score; he bought the soundtrack.
I bought the but here's the thing though: what it gave me was a bunch of songs I had never heard in the movie.
Wait, what do you mean by the? You mean?
I think he got the.
What do you mean by
song.
the Batman theme song? Like.
Dun 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 dun.
Oh, like the credit? Yeah, like that. That's the only song I know from the movie.
There's a Prince song. There's a Prince song in the
so this was like this is like the song they licensed for the movie.
Like one of the greatest theme songs ever made.
They did it for the first Avengers movie too.
That is a great score.
Which I'm so mad it wasn't on the album, which makes me actually really glad I only spent $5 on it. Because I'm like, but it had. But I will say this about it.
I would buy it just for that song.
That's what I did though. That's exactly what I did.
It's just like, damn.
That's the only thing I cared about. I bought a whole $5 album.
You
just
can
for
literally
that song.
go to the store, go get a $10 rack of CDs from Staples, and burn yourself an album.
I could, but at the same time, I like to know that it was on the album that I paid for.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I want to be able to take out of that nice, because it's got like the Batman logo on it.
Oh, yeah,
from the movie. I want to be able to take that CD out of there, just like pop it in, and then just have it going, being the first song, just driving down the road. I can feel like I'm driving the actual Batmobile.
The only time I feel the need to burn a CD is when there's different versions of an album, and they have one song in this version and one song in this version. I want them all together. Like the Blue album, you know, the Weezer album.
Of course, yeah, I know.
There's a bunch of good songs on the deluxe version.
Yeah, I know.
But the deluxe version isn't the Blue album. It's just all the B-sides on the Blue album.
I know. Because I saw that on Spotify. I have the actual Blue album. And
but
so what
Turco
I did
and I went through a big Weezer phase.
So I took
There's a lot of Weezer talk in high
I
school.
took the 3 best songs from the deluxe edition, just put it on the end of the Blue album, and there you go. So I have the unofficial deluxe edition of the Blue album.
I just illegally downloaded them like years ago, and they're still on one of my flash drives.
The NSA is listening.
But I will say, with the Batman album, though, there were 2 songs I was really happy they did have on there. And that was, I don't know, Frankie will definitely remember this. Turco, you might remember this. It was the one song that Joker played when he was messing up the art museum.
It was a Prince song, right?
Yeah, they had that song on there.
That's the song that I was
And
talking
then
about.
they had the other song from when Joker had the parade.
Yeah, yeah.
They had that song on
How
there
did they
as
have the
well.
money for a Prince
Good.
song, but not for the Batman theme song?
It was probably on another soundtrack. I don't know, but that
I
was
would
just
love to
really.
see that on
I mean, I was
vinyl.
like, I'm happy for those
probably
2
be
songs.
great.
Really disappointed for the Batman theme song.
That's really fucked up.
Imagine getting like a double pair
But
of
I'm just.
speakers and
I
playing
spent
that on
$5.
vinyl.
It's not that. It's
That
not
would be
terrible.
amazing.
The Batman
No,
theme
I'm-
song.
I would have been more
I'm
upset
songs.
if I
That
spent
would
like
just be great.
$10 on it.
That's
You
great.
know, I do want to get that song though on my phone.
The Batman one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that.
Now
Like,
that you mention it, that sounds really fucking badass.
Just driving down the road.
I think
listening to the
that'll be the
Batman
intro
theme.
for this week's episode.
Dun, 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 dun. Which what's actually really
Zardoz.
great about that theme song was it actually was the inspiration for the theme song for the animated one. It was almost like the animated theme song
yeah.
was just a reprinting of the one from the Michael Keaton Batman movie,
Yeah.
which was astonishing because
Danny Elfman did that theme, didn't he?
did you
Yeah, I
do
think
both
so.
of them? Who
Yeah.
did the original theme? Who did the theme for the movie?
Danny Elfman. I think.
Yes, that's exactly it.
That'll be in the intro for this week.
Just imagine driving down the road to that, man. Driving down the road, just like in a black car like mine. I'm like, because the thing I said that to people, I'm like, I could literally be driving the Batmobile.
Never even seen the movie, and I like this.
That's like how there was this.
You gotta see it, man. That's the movie. Sorry, go on, Frankie.
That's like how there was there was this contest, like they were doing it for charity around when Batman vs Superman was coming out. It was like you could either fly in a helicopter with Henry Cavill, right?
Oh, I remember that.
Or you could be picked up by Ben Affleck in the Batmobile.
Who would want
And I
to?
was
No
like,
offense to Henry Cavill,
No.
but who wouldn't want to drive in the
Listen,
Batmobile?
everyone knows I'm a big Superman fan, and I would love to do that, but I would have to choose the Batmobile.
Who wouldn't choose
it's
the
the original
Batmobile?
one from the
Wait,
movie?
right
no,
in a
wait, no, it
helicopter
wasn't
with
both.
Henry Cavill.
No, it
plays
was both.
Superman.
What does
Dude,
that
it
have
was
to do with
both.
it?
No, it
wasn't
was not both.
Are
had
you
to
sure?
choose.
I
No,
heard.
you
I
had to
heard it was
choose.
both.
No, you had to choose.
I would feel bad for Henry Cavill because I bet he would be sitting in that helicopter thinking,
dude, listen.
I would also
when do you
want to
get
ride in the
say that You
Batmobile.
actually rode in the real Batmobile, like this.
That's crazy
Yeah.
though. I wait.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, like
I think. At
What
some
if he
point
was
in
like
my
really
life-
cool and he's like, yo, let's call Ben up, let's go get the Batmobile.
yeah, right.
He just
like,
has it in his garage.
He just steals it. We just steal it from him.
Wasn't the Batman vs Superman Batmobile the only fully functioning one? Because I feel like, from what I've heard, because I actually watched a little history on the
there's a
Batmobiles
little
from the
featurette
movies.
on it. Yeah, it's like
Most
the
of those
only-
are like, most of those are non-functioning
and stuff,
or
yeah.
because I know with the Tumbler with the Dark
Tumbler.
Knight Batmobile, that there were actually 2 versions of that, and by versions I mean there was like one that was drivable, but none of the stuff you saw, like the one you saw him actually sitting in, Christian Bale, that was just a set,
Yeah.
and it's like you had the actual Batmobile which was drivable, but it didn't have anything in it.
Yeah.
so it's just an empty shell.
It was an
probably-
empty shell essentially.
So it's
That's
like
why
a Prius
those
painted
windows
black
were
with Batman
tinted.
stuff on it.
The
Yeah,
only,
basically.
I think, besides the Ben Affleck one, I think the only other drivable, like I mean, they're all pretty much drivable, but I think the fastest one, the one that can go the fastest, has to be the Michael Keaton one. I think
I think so.
because I think that one was like built from an original car, if I remember correctly, or something like that.
Probably. I mean,
You're probably right.
Because I think the Ben Affleck one can drive, but it drives really slow, and most of the other ones they can only go up to a certain speed before they'll start
I think
breaking.
the Adam
apart.
West one is a very slow one too.
I don't know. That one might actually be fully functional. I didn't see anything on the the Adam West one.
Rest in peace.
I mean,
Yes,
they
absolutely.
drive like there's like a bunch of those around still.
I give Adam
There's
West
a whole
lot of
museum. They're in a
props.
museum.
A lot
Yeah.
of props.
Which I
think
really
we
wanna go
wouldn't have
to.
Yeah, like
most of the stuff we have today without Adam West.
I think
superhero wise, I mean.
I think my overall dream in life, like I could die happy if I got to at least at some point in my life drive in a Batmobile.
Why not own a Batmobile?
Own is look. I don't even need to own a Batmobile. Just let me drive in one.
Drive a Batmobile.
Drive a
in,
Batmobile.
drive.
I don't listen. I can either drive a Batmobile, sit inside of a Batmobile, and have it being driven
Or
around,
you
or
could
own a
sit-
Batmobile.
Or you could sit and drive the Batmobile with Ben Affleck next to you
Can he be like yes while he's wearing the suit,
while he's wearing the suit.
and I'll be wearing the Robin suit. I don't care if it's got like the ha 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 Batman on it. I'll wear that. I'll wear that. I will proudly be Robin.
Dan, I honestly really think that you would make a great Robin.
right.
would-
I was about to say that.
I would
was
love
like-
to. I would love if I was ever given the chance. I would play Tim Drake Robin. I would play Tim Drake Robin.
Just like
Oh, boy,
a Robin.
Batman.
Yeah, like, I just picture it right then. Seems like you'd be such a great Robin.
Can we make that
Are we
one
talking
day?
Burt Ward
I
Robin?
actually really would
I
love
do that
to.
one too.
Robin the movie.
Like just any Robin, like even like
Not Damian
Burt
Wayne
Ward
though.
would be good though.
Not Damian Wayne. I refuse to play Damian Wayne.
I mean, I wouldn't put you. I wouldn't
play
put you in
Penguin.
like like a
Yeah,
like
I do
a
Burt
underwear.
Ward. I would do Burt Ward's personality, but I wouldn't be having my legs perfectly
No,
exposed.
I don't want. I like I feel like that's really uncomfortable and uncalled for.
I can't
don't
believe
want-
Burt
don't
Ward
think-
spent all of
As
those
long
years
as
in
I
that
get to
outfit.
play the Penguin, that's all I want.
You want to play
What?
the
I
Penguin?
want to play the Penguin.
Can we just make like a really bad like Batman thing?
I'm
Can I-
totally down
Can
for
I be
this.
Batman?
What would you
Sure.
be?
Can I be
Be
Batman?
Me?
Go
And
ahead.
I'll just be like a sarcastic asshole to Dan all the time. I'll be like, I'll talk down to Dan. It's like, oh my gosh, Batman! Like, holy
do
golly
like a
gosh,
quick
Batman!
skit real quick?
All right,
Just like I'll just.
All right,
Here,
all right.
I got your plot for you.
I'm driving the Batmobile.
All right, give me
I
the
got your
thing.
plot.
Give us the
All right,
thing.
all
Robin
right.
turns 21. You take him into his first drink at the bar. Go.
All right. So I'm driving.
Well, we got. Well, we got. Well, are we?
Robin, you're turning into a man today.
Hold on. Are we in our outfits, or are we
No,
regular?
you're in your outfit.
We're
You're in your
obviously in our outfits.
Okay,
We're going
all
out
right,
in this in
all
Gotham
right, all right.
City.
Well, I mean, we're going to a bar for drinks. I think that would be. I think that's a little weird. Granted, we're in the
You're
Adam West
Batman
era.
and Robin. How is that not going to be awesome to go to a bar with that?
You're not wrong.
No,
but-
you could be saving this for this skit.
Okay, all right. Let's do this.
All right, Robin. Tonight you're gonna turn into a man. I'm
Go-
gonna send
go-
you some hookers.
Gosh, Batman, I'm so excited.
Good. It's like, well, I told you we were gonna fight some crime today. That's why I brought you in the suit. But honestly, you're gonna get so much fucking ass with that. With
Batman, you shouldn't be talking in such language. We just came from the orphanage to talk to the children, Batman.
Yeah. Like the orphan. I've been drinking a lot tonight.
Batman, gosh golly gee, you told me you should never drink while driving.
Well, Robin, don't that.
Batman, how much have you had to drink tonight?
That's some pussy shit you're saying, right?
Batman.
Robin.
Hold your tongue.
Hold.
Great Harry's halibut, Batman. Your language.
If you don't stop telling me what to do, I'm gonna turn this.
Batman,
turn
Batman, I think I should call Commissioner Gordon.
Why are you gonna call Commissioner Gordon?
It looks like you're unable to drive the Batmobile.
Shut the fuck
I'm looking
up.
at the double Batman.
Shut up. Shut up, Robin. I'm Batman.
And that's where we end the podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Dan Leahey, Nick Turco.
That was beautiful.
Oh, that was
beautiful,
great.
guys.
All right.
Yeah. You're a gentleman and a scholar.
That's your little previews because now we have a good Batman movie that we're going to all make together.
It's
Batman.
Robin turns 21. The Batman movie.
No, you just call it Batman and Robin 21.
21.
Robin 21.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you have been listening to the
Zardoz
official fan club podcast. Thank you for joining us, Frankie Koelle.
Got it, man.
2 episodes in a row, or 2 inconsecutive episodes in a row.
Yes, 2 inconsecutive ones.
We have Nick Turco with his orange hair.
This episode is brought to you by
Oh, Dan.
Batman and Robin.
Audacity.
Dan, actually. You know what it's brought to you by?
Oh my god.
Hey.
This episode of the Zardoz podcast is brought to you by AMC Stubbs Rewards. And now, to show you how AMC Stubbs Rewards works, here's a little sketch provided to you by Frankie Koelle.
Hey, Dan. Let's go to the movies.
Gee, Frankie, I would, but I just don't have enough money to go to the movies.
Oh, Dan. You're missing out on quite an opportunity
I
by
know.
missing out on signing up for an AMC Stubbs Rewards card.
What? An AMC Stubbs Rewards? What's that?
Just for the simple price of $19.99 a year, you can become an AMC Stubbs Rewards member. And let me explain how it works out. You go to your local AMC theater, you let your local cashier scan it for you, and you're just one step away from earning $10 for every 1,000 points.
Wow, $10? That's enough for popcorn and a soda.
Yes, you can spend it on movie tickets, popcorn, soda, snacks, anything you want, and including exclusive giveaways.
Gosh, Frankie, let's go ahead and get signed up with AMC Stubbs Rewards right now.
Absolutely. And guess what? Rock, paper, scissors on who gets the movie choice.
You're on, asshole.
AMC Stubbs Rewards. Sign up today.
Bye, everybody.
Oh, we've been playing that for weeks.
Robin.